During the briefs, you talked to him a little bit. You sound excited. Your family sounds excited. What do you like about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I'm super excited. He reached out super quick. Talked to my whole family. My family went up there and met with him. Obviously, cool to see him here today. So really, just stuff like that. Start building that relationship with him. I'm excited to get on campus.
I know you just got hired a few days ago. Have you had a chance to really learn much about him, or is that still something to come down the road?
I know a little bit of his background, being the great here at West Virginia, stuff like that. Kind of like his system, they get up on it, through stuff like that. So a little bit, but not too much.
When he reached out to you, was it just kind of quick, hey, conversation, or when did you guys get a chance to talk?
Yeah, no, it was the day he got hired. He called me. That was a quick little 5-minute conversation, if that. But then after that, we had some longer FaceTime calls. Even texting me, stuff like that. So I talked to him a few times.
What were those longer conversations with him like?
It was good. He was just sitting in the facilities. I think in that little locker room area, because I don't know if he was in his office yet. But just FaceTime me. Tucker was there. The other assistant, so it was good.
Your dad told me you and Tucker may do some stuff where you guys are working on individual stuff together and kind of learn from each other and everything.
Yeah, obviously he's a vet, he's been on the block, his third year from school. So, he's a heck of a player, so, it'd be good to learn from him.
What do you think? Anything you have learned about the style of play, things like that, or how he kind of helps to use you?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to him too much in detail about the X's and O's stuff because it's new still. I'm sure he likes the way I can shoot it and stuff like that. Athleticism, being on the ball, just not versatility.
Is there kind of a plan talked about? This is how I want to build this roster going forward.
A little bit, but it was still early, and he's obviously still getting kids out the portal. Got one today. Obviously, still got to build a roster.
Take us kind of through your senior year in Auburn, the competition level in practice and games, the workouts. Just kind of what were things that helped you with your development this year?
Yeah, it was just a hell of an experience. Able to Coach Will, running down here, him and his son. Just ball still wall since August every day. Long practices preseason. Helped us, going into the season, and just grateful for the opportunity to come down here for a year and get ready for college.
Where do you think your game's gone most since you got down there?
I think just consistency. Bringing it every day. My shot obviously has gotten a lot better. Stuff like that. Really, just the practices. Attention to detail, scouting reports, stuff like that. All the college stuff.
What's your excitement level for when you get to IU? I think you're going to go late May or June, something like that.
Yeah, early June. I think it should be. Obviously, super excited. Stuff like that.
When you look back at that decision, Trent, to go to Montverde, how do you feel about it now? Months later, and I guess, obviously you that was a tough decision. But how do you look back at that now?
Yeah, I'd do it over again 10 times. I loved it. Got a bunch of brothers in the locker room right now. Obviously I'll stay in touch with them. They're all going to play high major basketball too. I love all the underclassmen. Love all the coaches. So it was a great experience.
What were those practices like, or how would you kind of describe the day in, day out of playing there?
Yeah, just super detailed. Everyone's going super hard the whole time. Some are short depending on how they're feeling, but some are long and grinders. But you get through them with your guys, and it's just super fun.
When you talk about Tucker, what's the level of excitement for you to be around a player like that?
Yeah, super excited. Like he said, he's a vet. He's done it 3-4 years now, so it'll be cool to learn from him and learn from Coach Covers too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Trent.